This is Jeanette Clark, Tech 3030 Video Learning Journal number 3. I've learned a lot this semester about a lot of things. I've learned about the different platforms that are available to help educate other people and to use as models for instruction that I would want to give to other people. I've learned about the best way to do things, sometimes not so much the best way to do things. Trial and error has shown me things that work for me and the things that I seriously need to do some work on. We've talked about, since the last installment, considering communicating with stakeholders and the types of things instructional designers have to keep in mind. Some of the things we need to keep in mind as instructional designers is the bottom line. We have to know what those costs are, what's our rock bottom price that we have to do something. Sometimes we can use free software to still do the same types of instruction that we might get if we paid for it. We need to make sure we do our research and create a plan. Be prepared for any obstacles or barriers that might come in hand. We also talked about change management and how it affects every aspect of the organization, and how we as instructional designers can assist organizations in change management efforts. We talked about pushing people outside of their comfort zone, kind of making them look at the better way to do things and trying to get them to see the best objective and the best model. Sometimes it's as simple as let them see the impact of the change. Sometimes it's even baby steps. The older generations or the baby boomers that have a little bit more problem with change and the different ways things have been handled. Sometimes they get into the mindset of that's how we've always done it, so that's how we always need to do it. We need to create an awareness of why things need to be changed, or why this is a better way to do things, why this is more efficient, and how this is going to benefit you, not benefit us. We need to create a desire for people to participate in the change and make sure that they're knowledgeable every step of the way of what's happening from every point, and what's coming up next, and what's available to help you, and what types of things do you need for us to make sure that you have the knowledge that you need. And then lastly, we need to reinforce the change. Make sure that everybody understands that it's a mindset. It's not something that's being forced down their throat. That it is what it is. In my line of work, or in the company that I work for, employee morale is a very important component to renewing contracts, governmental contracts. If their employee morale is low, then that really puts us at a risk for not being able to increase our workflow, and even not keeping it at the same can be detrimental to any of us, including myself. A classic example would be direct deposit can be mandated in the state of Ohio. We can make employees go on direct deposit, but rather than do that, we still offer employees the choice and don't force them to do that. Show them why the change is necessary. Help create a desire for them to participate in this program. Give them the benefits and the things that they can help, or that they can do to help this program or this project increase. If we were just to force this down people's throat, it would reduce morale. We would have high turnover in engineering and technical services. We really don't want to be leaving our company and having to go search for other folks. People have already got the knowledge that we need, and it just doesn't behoove us to force people to make those types of changes. It's good for us to consider the employee and their feelings and what they think and what they believe in, and help them understand why change is necessary, not just say this is how it's going to be and this is how it is. We talked about instructional designers and how we can effectively market their skills and strategies within an organization. We talked about how we answer the question, who is the customer? Some of us really thought that everybody is the customer. Anybody that needs the instruction is the customer, which means we need to have a needs assessment and clear objectives on what our instruction is trying to accomplish. Sometimes a skills database within a workforce is important, just so that so that people know what our abilities are and what we bring to the table. Having confidence in the skills that we have is also important. How else can we at those skills don't have confidence in what we do. We need to make sure that we exude that confidence to our workplace and our organization. Lastly, we talked about ensuring first-rate performance. We talked about pressure to take shortcuts and to accommodate resource constraints and time constraints. A lot of times it's as simple sometimes as just delegating a task. Getting all people involved in the department. Make sure that we know everything that needs to be known. Sometimes you could do a lessons learned so that you can figure out what didn't work this time so that you can help avoid those inefficiencies next time. A classic or one example that I could offer is my department we're looking to change payroll providers. By doing that, we need to make sure that we have everyone involved. The IT department needs to be involved because we need to make sure that there aren't any interfaces that are going to be a problem, or make sure that the IT department even has the time to make changes if there needs to be changes. The accounting department needs to be in the loop of what's going on because everything from payroll feeds into the general ledger, which feeds into the bottom line of the company. And human resources needs to be involved because we need to make sure that there's nothing that they need from us that we're not going to be able to give them any longer. Or maybe there's services we can give to them that they weren't able to receive before. So having a clear idea of what everybody needs and making sure that everybody understands and making sure that everybody's in the loop every step of the way can really help ensure that those performances are first rate and the analyses are accurate, and then the pressure's not so much, I think, to take shortcuts. Sometimes resisting that peer pressure to make cuts and reduce and allocate for resource constraints, sometimes resisting that urge can help benefit us and help us understand what we need. Standard operating procedures, again, having a clear plan is also important. Throughout this entire session, from installment number 2 to installment number 3, all of us should have been working on our capstone projects. We should all have been working within our groups, testing each other out, trying out new ideas to make sure that our delivery method is as effective as possible so that our objectives are met. And of course, we all get a good grade and pass for the semester. So I can honestly say it's been an enjoyable yet sometimes trying experience. I can't say I haven't been a little bit frustrated with some of the technologies, but I will say that I've learned a lot, and that I'm very confident that I'll be taking most of what I learned from this semester with me into my workplace, into my personal life, and into my nonprofit life.